Okay, welcome everybody to the weekly call we have for onboarding for Bitcoin Trend and Forecast. My name is Keith Hampton, and I am just a very, very happy customer of BitcoinTAF.com. I was introduced to this wonderful gentleman whom you're going to be meeting tonight about almost 10 years ago. And honestly, he changed my life. I was really wanting to get into the crypto industry, but I was looking for guidance. I was looking for integrity, and it was a struggle to find information out there that was accurate and unbiased. And this really changed my life. So tonight we're going to ask some questions of Marius and find out more about this incredible organization. And Marius, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Keith.
You're welcome. Marius, we're going to probably get started with the question about how'd you get started? Where'd you come from? What made set you into your path of who you become?
You mean like become, let's say, here in cryptos or?
No, like a human being, because I think people want to know that part of you first.
Yeah, well, I grew up in South Africa. You can probably hear it from my accent, and and these days people are proud to say, listen, I was born in South Africa because they've won the Rugby World Cup, they've won the Cricket World Cup, they've won the Under 21 Rugby World Cup. So, no, I grew up in South Africa. I was born there. But I had a really great life. These days, people are proud. I grew up in an orphanage in a place called Dispatch. At that point, it was called the Oosterland or Easterland Orphanage. I basically grew up there, and a lot of people go, "Oh, shame you grew up in an orphanage." But for me, at that time, you have to remember, Keith, we knew nothing different.
Mm.
All we saw is, hey, we've got the freedom. We can do whatever we want. But the kids at school with moms and dads, they can't. So at night we would roam around that little town, do what we want. So we had a great upbringing really, and growing up in South Africa it was great. A mixed culture. You had friends from all races,
Mhm.
and everybody really at that point. You look at the 1990s, 80s, 70s. I mean, we were all poor.
Mhm.
Nobody had phones at that time, and today everybody has got a phone. We were playing outside, we were chasing dogs, hunting, doing that kind of stuff. So we grew up a little bit different.
Mhm.
And then basically, when I left school, I decided I was going to go to the military. Went to the military, became a lieutenant in the military, loved it, and then just went on and did business. And like anybody else, we were just trying to make some money, paying bills and getting ahead of the game. We looked at the bankers or the banksters. I like to call them the banksters, the gangster banksters. We looked at them and we saw, how do these people make all the money, and we don't have the money. So it's like everybody at the moment, we're all just trying to get ahead of time.
Mhm.
And to be honest, Keith, a lot of change in our lives in the last 20, 30, 40 years. But what has not changed is that we still have debt. Everybody has debt. Everybody has bills to pay, and we're all just trying to get ahead. And that's how I got into cryptos basically. And
Mhm.
uh, you know, there's big opportunities here. And
Mhm.
I tell you what, if you think you missed the crypto run, I mean, this is just the beginning. We are so early. Although it's been 10 or 15 years, we're still early, Keith. And you and I, with our age, Keith, I mean, yeah, we look at the youngsters and we go like, man, these kids are 20 years, 30, and we wish, can we buy just a little bit more time?
Mhm.
We can't. The time is gone. So for the young people here on this call, yeah, you sit here with a great opportunity. Over to you, Keith.
You bet. Well, one of the questions that I had for you is that one of the reasons why I really got attracted to your reports was that you had an ability to use algorithms. So maybe you could maybe elaborate a little bit on how you got involved in the mathematical world and algorithms and how that led you into being able to be so accurate in the predictions we're having today.
Well, while I was working in America, I was headhunted basically by a company, and this company works in oil and gas industry. I ended up moving to Australia to go and work for the company and manage the division there, which is called the HSE, Health, Safety, Environment, Energy and Risk Division in oil and gas operations.
Mhm.
And at that point in Australia, the Australian, let's say, base did not really know how to do drilling and completions and getting, let's say, coal seam gas out of the ground. So it was groundbreaking for us to go in there. The knowledge that we learned brought it in there. So while we were working oil and gas operations onshore, drilling and completions, we had access to a lot of data. Now remember, these are highly skilled jobs, as you also know, Keith, in Canada.
Mhm.
You know, drilling, completions, oil and gas, people die. There's fatalities, near misses, incidents every day. I mean, because you work with equipment that's dangerous, you work with tasks, manual labor. So we were tasked basically as the health, safety, environment division of oil and gas operations
Mm.
onshore in Australia, the outback. I mean, there's coal seam gas everywhere. You know, you walk in these rivers, you take a lighter and you light the gas. You've seen it. And then the water burns, or the fire burns on top of the water. That's how much gas there is. You know, Australia is just a great country.
Mhm.
So while we were working there, I had access to data, a lot of data, health, safety, environmental data from every single oil and gas major all around the world. I don't want to mention the names here, but you can figure it out yourself. You know, all the big names. So I've done work for every single company. You name them, I've done work for them. So then what happened is they gave us all their data of the last 100 years, everything they had of when a fatality, a near miss, an incident happened, what caused it, the cause, consequence, the investigation. Over time, we put all that in a computerized model. And to my surprise, we threw it up on a big screen and we created a graph. And we said, listen, there's something interesting here. Over the last 120, 130 years, these intervals of fatalities, near misses, and incidents, especially fatalities, are happening on a 7-year cycle. And that was the first time that I realized, listen, everything in the world appears to work on cycles. Stock market goes up 7 years, drops. Properties go up 7 years, drops, then goes up 7 years again. And I wondered, what is this thing of 7 years? Then I heard about the biblical 7-year cycle. I heard about other 7-year cycles, and I started looking into these things, and I suddenly realized it's spiritual, but it's biblical, but it's also human behavior. So we then, according to the data that we developed, without us knowing, we created an artificial intelligence. It's now called AI. At that point, we didn't have a name for that. But AI basically just predicts stuff to the future, but it takes historical data and you put it together. It can then predict what will be in the future. It's kind of like forecasting, actually, and a little bit more to it these days. As it develops, it will become a lot more powerful. So what we did is we took all the data, put it down on the spreadsheet, and we realized that there's a fatality, a near miss, an incident every interval. We went to the oil and gas companies, and there was a famous call that we made, and we said to a specific oil and gas company that in June or July of this year, you're going to have 1.8 fatalities. And lo and behold, they didn't really take us very serious because it was new data. And in July, there was an incident where a person died, a roughneck. Let me just leave it there. He died, passed away, investigation was done. The investigation came basically to the point where it said exactly where we said it's going to happen on the day, how it would happen, and these companies started looking at us very seriously. And today, that data, Keith, the algorithm data is actually used globally in oil and gas companies in health, safety, environmental practices. We started that. And so now fast forward a little bit. Bitcoin came out, and Bitcoin was around here in 2015, 16. I bought Litecoin very cheap. And it was like just a luck, I didn't know what I was doing. But got involved in Bitcoin, heard it a little bit. All of us have heard about Bitcoin and cryptos. And then here in 2015-16, I started taking Bitcoin and I took it on the day chart, first the weekly chart, day chart, had about 8-9 years worth of data, and we plot that on a algorithmic chart pattern, like a pattern. It goes up, down, up, down, up, down. And I was sitting in the office one day and I said to myself, man, I've seen this pattern before. And I couldn't get onto it. And while I was driving back home, I realized, wait a second, that is the exact pattern as the oil and gas algorithm. I couldn't wait to get back to work the next day, early there. Put it together on the screen, and lo and behold, they crossed over. I went like, what is this? And suddenly, Keith, at that point, I discovered what we developed in the oil and gas industry is exactly what's happening in Bitcoin. And I thought, why? What has Bitcoin got to do with the algorithm? Then I suddenly realized, but wait a second, this is human behavior. Now, what you think, let's say, if you want to know where you will be in 5 years from now, all I need to do is to sit with you, drink a coffee with you for 20 minutes. I'll know exactly where you'll be in 10 years. Is you're going to tell me what your future is going to look like, what you want, everything's, Keith, you know it. You and I, we're old enough now. Whatever you speak and whatever you say, that's what's going to happen to you. If you say to yourself, I'm always unlucky, lo and behold, you're going to be an unlucky person. I don't even use that word. I'm powerful, I'm mighty, I make things happen, things come to me, opportunities are galore. I've got so many opportunities now. Opportunities just come up every time. And all the members here or people that listen to this call too, on YouTube or wherever, you really have to be positive, change your mindset and just get going, So Keith, that's how we got onto it. And then now in the data, we've added a lot more data like behavioral assessments, what people think, what people say on social media. We grab the data and then we prepare a model that will actually tell us what will happen in the future. And for that purpose, we created a Bitcoin algorithm. And that algorithm predicts what Bitcoin will do. Now, since 2016, the Bitcoin algorithm on the long-term cycle has never, ever been incorrect. Now we're standing at a verge now where people say, it's going to be incorrect at the moment. And all our members that have got access to the data say, we're all watching. Could it be incorrect? Could it not? Because remember, it's either going to go up or down. And you know what my stance is on that. Over to you.
Yeah. Well, what's so fascinating is that, when you introduced me to this back almost 10 years ago, I've been tracking all of this for 10 years. And folks, it literally has hit every single time. On a macro level, it has been 100% accurate, which I just found that uncanny that an algorithm could predict the future with such accuracy. But now understanding how all of this works, because I've been working with you all these years. But I understand that, Bitcoin has a very specific algorithm, and the altcoins, we're kind of running in lockstep a little bit with that. But apparently that's now changed. And so you've had to develop new algorithms, I understand, for the altcoins. Maybe you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, now the thing is to develop an algorithm for Bitcoin is actually really easy because Bitcoin is singular. Now, to develop one for the altcoins is difficult. There's 11 million altcoins. Narrow it down to, let's say, 1,000 altcoins. Then you can narrow it down to the top 300 altcoins. And then when you look at them, Keith, they all jump different. This one goes up, this one drops. Okay, let's have a typical example at the altcoins at the moment. Look at how high Sol is at the moment. Look at how low Theta is at the moment. So you can clearly see they run in totally different patterns. Yeah, Sol is high. Theta is under $1. You cannot believe it. Yeah. Where Theta should have been 20, 30, 40, even higher to be in relation with Sol, and it's not. So now you try and work out what will the Altcoin algorithm do. Very complicated. So about 2 years ago, we started developing that, putting data together, and we failed and failed and failed 17, 18, 19 times. But now we think we've got it sort of sorted. We took a whole bunch of the algorithm data, we put it together, we took coins, put it together, we created a median line, like the average. We added some behavioral assessments into it, what we think, the way people react. because when the market goes up 10%, everybody sells and they take their little bit of profit at the moment. And so it influences the markets really big instead of holding and adding and just let the market jump a little bit higher. So it's very complicated to do that, but we have now developed something that we will know in the next 2 or 3 months that we've got it accurate. And you know what's going to happen. The biggest, I wouldn't say the biggest altcoin run is coming, but there's a big altcoin run coming. It could be the biggest, but the point is, all we need another 3, 4, 500%, and boom, everybody makes a lot of money, and that is coming. If it is more than that, we're happy. And I think it could be more than that. Could be.
Excuse me.
Well, that's what's got me excited, because I am heavily invested in the altcoins, and I tell you, I got the biggest smile on my face. I know patience will win out and win out handsomely. But along with your algorithms and predictions, you developed a whole team of people that were able to assist you in technical analysis and developed what I would call indicators that really help get the confluence with the algorithms and the technical analysis. Can you maybe elaborate on that as well?
Yeah, I can. I think a lot of people see the face of people, like people like Nico, Wendy, Corey. People see that, but behind the scenes, there's also people working on it, like our IT team, and people that work on our algorithm data, and people that we just never ever really showcase, and they will forever be in the background of this, but thank you to those people too. But we have, Keith, and I think the advantage that we have is that we've just been consistent the whole time. A lot of people have come into BitcoinTAF.com, left, but the majority are here, people like you too, Keith. I mean, you're part of the team, and we really appreciate that.
Because I was showing, like,
but
look at this,
it is growing bigger. We're just trying to keep it the size it is with the people we have. We don't necessarily need more people, but the memberships totally have grown. The company has grown into a pretty large, solid company. But it's not about us. It's about helping people, Keith. As you know, it's about getting people free. I know there's a lot of people like me, I came out of an orphanage, had debt, didn't know where to start, how to get rid of debt. That's what we want to do. Get people on a conveyor belt, show them what to do, teach, train, educate. Like we've got Wendy, her team, Hornets. We've got Nico, the ultimate training course with day trade, medium term, Corey, DeFi. I mean, a small team, but I tell you what, we work hard. like you too. Everybody works hard. Yeah.
Well, what I found fascinating is that the alignment or the confluence between getting your weekly reports on the Bitcoin and what's happening, where it's going, and then the altcoins on the major ones that we're all playing in, what's happening there, and then using the indicators that your team has developed to add that extra confluence to make better decisions. I'm finding that I'm making way better decisions and way more profitable by putting that all together in one package. So you have really gone from just one little segment of Bitcoin to expand it into a total educational company. What do you think that with all this information, where we are going to be, let's say about a year from now?
I can tell you now, from now, let's talk from now till the end of the year. There's going to be a lot of profit to be made, Keith. If you position yourself correctly, have the right coins, the right mindset, have the right indicators, exactly the ones that you mentioned now, And may I just say, remember now, I developed the algorithm data. That's one part of the business. The other part of the business is Nico and his team. They developed the detonator. I was not even involved in that. These guys just started using that, developed it, and I went like, I'm going to give that a go, maybe later. I wish I used it earlier, Keith. I would have made a lot more money. Wendy on her side, she started developing her own indicators, Hornets and all that. Again, when that came out, it was like the best thing, but I went like, nah, I'm going to stick with my trading. But if I just started using the Hornet indicator, detonator earlier, I would have made a lot more profit. Now, how I see the next few months, there's going to be a high point, and everybody misses getting out in a high point. If you don't want to miss out on a high point, use those indicators. find out where the top is, because those indicators, Nico, that you are using is so valuable. It will show you the top. There's a top pivot, Wendy. That top pivot will tell you this is the top. Get out. Like we show every week on the calls. So I see a huge run. I see a really good run coming up now. And where we'll be in a year from now, we're going to take the profit at the top. So we're going to be happy. I may be just fishing for a while and just resting a little bit, but we'll be coming back again and go for the next cycle up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, amazing that what I've found in the past was that if people don't have that type of information, usually the opposite is happening. People are not getting in when the market is down at the bottom, and they're pessimistic and they don't get ahead. And then when the market suddenly runs and it gets up, really frothy at the top, they get all excited, and that's when they bail in. And of course, that's the wrong time, and they sadly get wiped out again. So why are you guys so focused on trying to help others not do that? I mean, why would you do all this work? I mean, you folks don't need to be doing this weekly calls and all these reports and all these different indicators when you could just go off and make money on your own. You don't really need to help others. So what drives you? What makes the difference?
I can't talk for the rest of the team, but I can tell you this now. If I look at what's happening in a team, it's the heart of people. Now, I grew up in an orphanage. You have to understand that also, Keith. When I try to struggle to get through life, nobody's going to give me a $10 or nobody's going to buy me a bread. There's days that we were so poor, we literally had to go and buy, let's say, like a brown loaf of bread and a Coke, and that's what we ate for days and days and days. We were so poor at one point that my sister and I, we cooked the egg. We boiled it. We cut it in half. She ate half. I ate the other half. Now, you can never come to a point where you say, hey, listen, I've got enough money. I can retire. It's not for me about that. For me, it's about let's help other people. Let's see how much we can do. Now, there will be probably a day where I'm going to step back a little bit, let other people do it as the team grows. But I think if I look at our entire team, and we haven't really spoken about it, but the heart of people here is to help others. It is so that I can probably go and trade on my own and make a lot of money, but what's the fun of that, Keith? We're creating friends all around the world. And it's not about fame, it's totally not about that. It's just about helping people. The messages we get, I looked at a message this morning that came through our support ticket. Yeah, I wonder if I should read it, but I probably wouldn't. But, just people thanking us for the entire team that has helped this specific person. And he talks that they were diligent, they didn't get annoyed, didn't get agitated. Our team is helpful. They help the whole time. And then the other thing is, Keith, we'll probably never know how many people we help, but I know there's a lot of people. It's just I don't know really what to answer you. We do it for the love of it, and then obviously I would say there's a lot more to it. Number one, I don't like the financial system. If I really get into it, but I don't want to talk about that too much. We're talking that in the private calls. If you look at, I always say that Al Capone. Those Al Capones are the people now that own the banks. Al Capone got caught. He was selling drugs. So they realized that, hey, smart, let's go and buy the banks. We won't get caught now. We've got the license to still make money. They're in the banks. I don't like the banks. Because, Keith, you look at how much money the banks are charging people on the interest for home loans, car loans. Right. I mean, I don't like that. I really don't, and I will never. Why is it not 1% or something small? Why do the banks need to get 3, 4, 5, 10, 12, 20%? It's unbelievable. It doesn't make sense. That's why I will probably be forever here fighting the system. And I say fighting the system, I don't mean it rude, but let's say anti the system, anti the rich get richer and the poor gets poorer. And if we don't do something against that, we're not going to win. So our goal here is to teach everybody And also remember, Keith, that we are different. We teach people how to fish for themselves. So we teach people everything we know so that they can actually go and duplicate what we know. And many people do it. They teach their family, friends. And people say to us, oh, your business model won't work. If you do that, people won't come back. But look at us. We just keep on growing, growing, growing. And we'll do this forever. As long as I can, it's about helping people. And you know it as well, Keith. I mean, gee, look at you. You do these onboarding calls week after week after week. Why are you doing it?
There's only one reason. I've always had a mission in my life to help others and to make a difference in the world. If I can find anything that could really help humanity, it was just my calling. I can't know other way to explain it. And that's what I've noticed with all of the other team members is that, my gosh, I mean, the amount of work that Corey in the decentralized finance world does every week blows me away. The hours he puts in to give us that accurate data. Nico, my gosh, how he developed the Ultimate Trade course and the detail on that is, in my opinion, it is probably the best training course on how to trade any market in the world.
Yep.
By far none, it is the best. But more importantly, you know, your wife is a person who has a deep soul that is only there to help others, and she will almost give some of her information away for free just to help others. That's what it's all driven from. So I'm a testimonial of these people that are on board, and I don't even know all the people in the background, but obviously they are of like mind to do this. So folks, this is a place where you can comfortably come and get honest, accurate information and get real education on how to be successful in primarily the cryptocurrency space. But the education and training that you get can be applied to almost everything in life, including investing in the stock market. I think, Marius, you now put out reports on the stock market as well, I understand.
Yeah, correct. We create a stock market report. And our whole aim here is to divest a bit of the profit that you make from your cryptos, put it into stocks. Because remember, although we want to fight the big banks and the big banksters, we still need to go with them and flow with them. So you diversify, put some money in stocks, and some of those stocks are really nicely up. And then also we teach people not necessarily to buy and sell your stocks, but build a long-term portfolio. The best time, Keith, to build a long-term portfolio in the stock market was 20 years ago. We all missed it. Or not all, there's a lot of people that didn't miss it, but I missed it. So the second best time now, and if you've missed it, you watching this call now, start today. Build that portfolio, and then you never sell it. Buy good quality stocks, and then what we do, Keith, we borrow against that portfolio. And we go for the 1%, 2, 3, 4%. Now we're part of the banks. So you can't get away from them, join them slightly, but always be aware that you can make a heck of a lot of money in cryptos, diversify a little bit, get into properties, get into stocks, and that's why we do the stock market report. Yes. Thank you.
Excellent. Actually, we do have a question that came on from one of our listeners on YouTube. It said, "Hi, Marius. With everything you are saying about these incredible indicators, can I quit my day job and only trade with the indicators? Will it be worth it?"
There's a few things we need to understand there. I'm going to say yes, you can, because there are people that do scalp trading with Wendy. They use a different set of indicators. But then the second thing is, how much money do you need per month? If somebody tells me they need 100,000 per month, then I'm going to say, right, you need about 2 million. If you need to make 10,000 a day, 100,000 perhaps. If you only want to make about 2,000, 3,000 a month, is very easy. But I don't want to put people in a box, Keith. We've got people here that are doing it full time, many people. It depends on everybody's personality. But I can tell you this now, the key here is education. I can literally do this full time. I can make money now. I don't need a job. And remember, I don't need anything. I can live on this now. And there's multiple people doing it. You can make money in a down cycle, because remember, the market doesn't go all the way down the whole time. The market goes down and up, down and up. And if you can find those down and up cycles, on a time frame of 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour. You can make money short-term day trading. If you want to trade on a weekly cycle, you can. But it's not that easy to tell people, yeah, hey, quit your day job, just go and do trading, you'll make a lot of money. Maybe get in contact with us. Let's have that discussion and see where you stand. And then I would not suggest people do it immediately, Keith. If you're new, keep your job, keep your day job. And then what you do, start trading on the side till you get educated. Remember, for me, and I'll just tell you my story. In the first year, I made a lot of money in the first year. But if you look at my losses, Keith, yes, my losses were big. It's simply because I thought I didn't need training. Remember, we didn't have training in 2015-16. I thought I was smart enough, but you weren't. Number two, we didn't have the indicators that we have now. If I had only those indicators that Nico and Wendy had in 2015-16, I would have been way richer now. Well, not richer, but I would have had more money to trade with. I could have helped a lot more people. Now, it's a process also. Then also, Keith, as you understand the emotional cycle as well, your emotions, you make one wrong call, your emotions spiral downwards, and you're so scared to make the next call. So let's rather train, educate you, and you start trading on paper, and then you go like, man, I made 5,000, then you're going to make 10,000, then 20,000, then you sit with 30,000 from nothing, and boom, then you lose it all. Then you get that wake-up call, and then you have to start over again. You can do it. Now, for people that are experienced and know what they do, there's a lot of our members around the world that do it. They can do it. But if you're new, probably just have a discussion with myself, Nico, or with the team.
Absolutely.
Before you do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, me
and you will
if
talk.
you want to seriously get involved in the investment world,
me and you will talk.
to take the education. You couldn't drive a car without getting trained. You can't become a dentist or a doctor without being trained. It's no different for investing in the cryptocurrency market. You need to become educated. And that's what the tools are at Bitcoin Trend and Forecast are all about. In fact, what I'm so amazed at is how inexpensive these training modules are. I mean, I have in my past took a trading course through another firm, and it cost 5 times the amount that I spent on the Ultimate Trade course, and it gave me 1/10 the information. That shows you the dollar value scenario here. So folks, if you really want to become educated in this space and be successful and be independent, this is a great learning opportunity for you. And I can't thank this team enough for taking me from zero to a very happy man today. So with that, Marius, is there any insight? Yeah. Well, we have some time left. Do you have any other insights as to what not to do maybe in this space? It's a lot of people treat it, I think, like gambling. I'm going to, throw a whole bunch of money on the spot, and I heard it's going to be good. I get third-party information, and so this is what I see sadly out there. And I don't know what's your thoughts on that. Have you seen that activity, and what your thoughts are?
I think a lot of people are not really going to YouTube or listening to other people anymore. I think people have wisened up a little bit, Keith. This is what I see across the board. Things not to do. I can tell you this. I had a guy that called me one day, and he said, look, I own this big business. I've sold it. I sit with a lot of cash, and I want to get into cryptos. And we said to him, don't buy anything yet. Go and do the training, get educated, and don't get antsy in your pants that you want to buy the coins now. So what he did is, Keith, he did not do the training. He then went and he started buying cryptos. Today, well, not today, but about a year ago, the guy lost everything. He started back in BitcoinTAF.com. He lost it all. And, now a year ago, he came back to us and said, listen, this is what happened. We said, not a problem, but now let's help you. Let's start from scratch. He started from scratch. He got the money together, and this guy, I don't want to say how much money he had, but it was a lot of money, Keith, you know. What happened is he jumped around from coin to coin. A coin would not spike, and then he would buy another one. Then the coin would drop. He would, you know, the old story. Jump around the whole time, you know. Today, he's actually made a lot of that money back. He got educated, trained, and we're working with him. He's really well. Another thing not to do is don't think that you're wise and that you're smart and you're going to outshine everybody. Because most people do not sell the top. What I can say, Keith, is, you know, when you start making money, you turn 100,000 into 200, 300, 400, 500,000, your mind goes like, man, look at this, I'm going to pay my house off. And you get like this euphoria and you think that you're the smartest trader in the world. Because remember, the market went up. When you get that sign or that image in your head or that feeling, that should be a caution to you. And if people are here just listening to this now, when we go up now into the bull cycle now, there's going to be a huge cycle. But remember, it's going to be over as quick as what you breathe. It's going to be over as well. So you need to know what you're doing. There's so much I can say, Keith, but I would say join BitcoinTAF.com, get involved, and we can help you there.
Hey, thank you. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I have made that mistake going through that learning process where, you know, it ran up, you made a fortune, you get, oh man, this is easy. And next thing you know, you miss the signals, and because you weren't trained on the signals, next thing you know, you ride those same coins all the way down to the basement. You have to start all over again. Fortunately, today, with the new training and with these new indicators, it's almost impossible for me to do that again. So I'll be taking profit, laddering out all the way up and sitting on cash, waiting for the market to correct and start all over again. And that's the other thing I wanted to share with people is, yes, the cryptocurrency market is volatile, but that's good news, not bad news. That's where you can make the most amount of money. And, you know, when you're dealing in stocks, if it goes up 20, 10, 20, 30%, wow, you've had a big win. Well, I can tell you in the crypto market, you can have 500%, 1,000% runs. So it can be very, very rewarding if you are educated and trained. And that's what BitcoinTAF is all about. That's why I'm here and keep talking about them every day and trying to help others. So, Marius, those indicators are really the icing on the cake, along with your algorithmic reports. They tell you clearly, folks, you're at the top. It's time to lighten up your loafers, as you might say. But we're not there yet.
Yeah, it's true, Keith, because those indicators that Deco have, on the bottom it tells you now theta is a buy. Go and look at every single coin now. It'll tell you exactly when to buy on the 7-day cycle, okay? But if you look back in historical cycles now, it told us to sell theta at $3 something. Again, it told us to sell at $3 something. Now that pattern is repeating. Use the indicator, it will tell you. And just for the people who give something free away here, have a look at theta. Theta is a buy. You use the indicator, you simply trade it up $3, $4, $5, wherever the top is going to be. It's going to give you an indicator, it's going to tell you exit. You sell, and you don't do the rat race that everybody else does and think it's going to go higher and higher and higher, and then you ride it all the way down. No, that is valuable. And that's what I used to, Keith. And this is why I say, if I had these indicators in 2017, 18, 19, Nico, where were you at that time? If I had those, I would have made a lot more money.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm staying good friends with Nico at the moment. Very good friends.
Yeah, and then once you become trained and educated, there's a whole new avenue that's taking place in the crypto market, and that is the decentralized finance market, and that's an area that I'm just dipping my toe in. But maybe you, Marius, can talk a little bit about what Corey's doing on the decentralized finance space. Maybe explain a little bit what that's all about.
Yeah, Corey is just a unique person. I mean, I have conversations with Corey, and then I have to go like, man, let me Google what Corey's talking about. you know, and let me use AI, ChatGPT. Wait a second. So Corey is sometimes just above everybody's head. But I tell you what, if you want to know decentralized finance, there's no better guy to talk to. One thing that Corey did is Corey was one of the first people that came out and said, buy virtuals. You know, virtuals. And look what it did, Nico. It went up 20,000%. I looked at virtuals and I went like, Corey, what the heck is this about? And I started buying a little bit. Yes, and it just went up and up and up. Corey has made some really stunning calls. If you want to know about DeFi, and remember how the market moves. You have Bitcoin that moves, then you have got Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash that moves, then you have the rest of the altcoins that come up, and during that period, you've got DeFi that just explodes. So the point, that's coming, and it's for those people interested in decentralized finance and Bitcoin Cash, those kind of coins, just get together with Corey, Nico. We can help you with that.
Absolutely. And that's what I wanted to end this call on, is that we have something here for everybody, no matter where you want to get started. We have a program, or we have a course, or we have guidance from wherever you are. You can start from zero like I did and go slowly all the way through the system, or go as far as you want, and then wherever you're comfortable at, because it's not about us, it's about you. How can we help you become successful in this crypto space? Because personally, I believe that the cryptocurrency space will outperform every other investment in the entire world over the next 5 years.
Yep, totally.
And this is information that I've gotten from many sources, not alone Marius himself, but some of the greatest experts in the world are investing. Well, look at the world right now. Look at the government, all investing heavily in the current crypto space. So it will change our lives. If you add in artificial intelligence with robotics on a blockchain, folks, you won't recognize the country in 5 years, or the world.
Yep.
It will be dramatically changed. So this is the time to get educated now, get started. So with that, I'd like to thank you, Marius, for coming on this call today. This was really awesome. And for you folks on YouTube, we do this call twice a week on Mondays at this time, but we also do the call on Fridays in Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, or Mountain Daylight Time, which is unfortunately about it's not bad. It's about 4 p.m. European and Africa time. So you're more than welcome to come back on board and ask more questions. And hey, please invite your friends, your family members to jump on this call just for curiosity, because we want to help them. You're more than welcome to ask questions, and we will try and help every human being that comes on this call. So thank you again so much, Marius. And with that, I just give you one final word before we sign off.
No, I would just say, look, everybody in the world needs to make money, become financially free. And many people probably sit in my situation when I lived in an orphanage. We are here to help. We're not here to what's the word? To shill you any coin or to do anything strange. We don't do that. All we do is we're going to teach you, educate you, train you, work with you very diligently till you get it. And once you get it, you make money. And that's all it is about. If we can help you and we can be part of your journey, I would appreciate that so much, Keith, because for us to get a message from our customers and say, listen, you've changed my life, that's what I want. We want hundreds of those, thousands of those. So I would just say thank you for everybody looking at this video, and please come back, join us. We'll make you feel at home, and we want you to become part of Bitcoin Trend and Forecast of our community. Thank you for doing this, Keith.
You're welcome. All the best. Good night, everybody.